Welcome everyone to this. Well, we are saying it free, but it's actually a knowledge gain for every one of us. Even we are learning from you guys. Whenever you are giving us feedbacks regarding the product experience and everything. So why we are doing this? We are doing this uh, for the sake of that AI now has becoming a trend, latest trend in software testing, and we feel that it is necessary to talk about it more and more. There has been a debate going on, which is actually stating that AI cannot replace testing or software testing or automation testing, but that's not the case. If I remember correctly, in back in 2007, when automation was making its pace alongside manual QA and regression activities, and people were starting to script their way around the test cases and everything. So people were saying it's not going to replace manual testing and it's not going to happen. The reality is nothing is replaced. It's actually enhancing the and empowering the roles of testers. So this is the actual case. Now whenever something new comes in, it's in the human nature that they start to argue about it, they start to look into it. The thing is, you are actually adding another tool, another good tool in your tool belt. So smart testers are going to adopt this and apply this accordingly. People who are not smart are going to argue about it and then do nothing about it. That's the real essence of it. uh, Welcome. We are going to experience this product deeper with Deep Barot, obviously, but I'm going to give you a sort of like preamble that why we are here, what are the challenges we are facing currently. So, we are here because of actually because of three challenges. There are three daunting challenges which our test team is facing currently. The first one is uh, it's getting to be a very interesting mix. So what's happening is that the applications are now getting uh, simplified and simplified and simplified each day, but the talk about it behind the curtain is getting complex because of the tool complexity, because of the scenario complexity, because of the user behaviors and everything. So we have two kind of people on either side of this paradigm. One is the testers, you people, the quality assurance people who are getting actually psyched up, who are actually getting uh, 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 trendy about their tools and knowledge and tool stacks. And other side are the user who are actually getting to know product better than you. So they are so much well aware of the products they are using, that they tell you what's wrong with your product and what is not wrong with your product. So this simplified complex mix is first challenge we are facing currently. So how to write test cases about it, how to address problems around this challenge. The second one is the collision course. So whenever your context and your requirements, so there are written requirements, we write test cases about it, scenarios about it, anything, and then we put the product into the real world. That collision, when that collision happens, so that's something which can be disastrous for the team, which can be an opportunity for the team as well. Opportunity how? If test team is smart enough to produce this collision well before it's happening in their labs, in their at their desktops, with their test cases and everything, with their perceivement of how things are going to happen, so they can avoid actually damage towards the user experience side, towards the team time side, towards the even towards the economical side of the project. Okay, so we need to be smarter in that sense. When collision happens, what we are going to do. The third one is, it's the time, a shot in the dark. This is a curse on testers. We will always have limited time to do so many things. So we need to discover important issues, important risks, important bugs, and all of them at a certain point, that we can do it in a finite time zone. So these three challenges are always there. One is that the application are simplifying, other is the reality and context, and the third one is that we will always have finite time in our hand. So how to address these? So these tools like Context QA, AI driven tool, is actually helping you in creating test cases out of your instincts. And with those, while using those instincts, while using your smartness, even manual testers can empower themselves. Why I'm saying this, why I'm making this claim? It's because software testing is now more inclined towards user behavior, user experience, and intuitions. You can see that even ATM system, which were so formal, are now getting inclined towards the user behavior. Applications are like talking back to you. Chat GPT is one of the examples. Google was doing it for years. Google was talking back to you like it was a human, but it was scattered. Now everything is combined within one frame. So Chat GPT is like that. So AI is doing the same. Now AI based tool we need to adopt. We need to see that how they are talking back to us and what use we can bring in. So now Context QA can help you with these challenges. We will have a more empowered QA team. And why I say this, because everyone in the team can do automation. Yes, I'm not saying that everyone will be writing scripts and everything, but everyone will be able to use the tool. Everyone will be smart enough to use their own, to write their own test cases and use it accordingly. So this is what the intuition side is. This is what the intuition side is, which. So what you are doing, you are actually bringing up your regression manual teams. You are bringing up your regression sprint teams to your level, to the SDETs level. And the SDETs are getting smarter and more closer to the development team. So this gap is actually shrinking, and we are making sure that we are making this product. We are adding up features which will specifically help manual teams to smarten up and also empower SDETs. So now I'm going to, with this statement, these claims, I'm going to hand things to Deep, and you can see the roles. You can see that we have SDETs and we have people, and everyone can benefit from this. So over the stage is now handed to Deep, and he will be providing you a walk through the product and what his visions are and how things are going to be. Okay, over to you, Deep. You can
Yeah,
share your
so
screen now.
yes. So thanks, Arsalan, for wonderful introduction, and thank you
Welcome.
everyone for joining. So let me share my screen and let me know once it is visible. So can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay, perfect. So hello everyone. Yeah, so thank you everyone for joining. I'm super excited to work with you, to share the knowledge with you, and share my experience also because I'm Deep Barot. I'm based out of Austin, Texas. I learned through trying new and different technologies and working with the people like you, where they are open-minded, and I made a great success in terms of changing careers or learning new skills or increasing my revenue, right? So I want to share those learnings with you so you can be empowered. So today we are going to discuss about the context QA and how context QA can help you, as well as you as individual testers, managers, or directors. How can you improve your day-to-day work using context QA? Okay. So today's goal is you learn, you apply, and again improve, and then you simplify the testing process. So nothing to replace you, it is just an advancement or enhancement to what you normally do. Okay. So my first questions to everyone: what is your ambition? You can type in the chat. First is a learning new skill, second is earn more money, third is a job security and higher position. Can you type your answers in the chat, please? Like one, two, three, any number is fine. Okay. So we as a human have a different kind of interest. One is, yes, we continuously wants to learn new skill, but at the same time money is also important and we want to earn more money through the different channels. on the other side, job security is very important because we are growing, our family is growing, and our needs are growing. So job security is important, and we also want to get into the career for the higher position. Now, being QA or in any other field, nothing specific to the QA, but you need to get promoted, right? And for that you need to show your value, right? And to show your value you need to do different things. So that is what we are going to discuss about it. Context QA is only tool, but here we are going to talk about yourself as a tester, what you normally do, what value you providing you to your business right now, how you can be better, how can you provide more value to your business being you and yourself rather than struggling and scrolling on the LinkedIn. Okay, so today we are going to discuss about the path to success. Okay, so and there is only one way to get successful is working hard and learning new skills. There is no alternative way. So if you learn new skill, and we are going to discuss like how, what, why kind of stuff, like why should you learn this. But if you learn new skills you will become more confident and you become more efficient. And that's all the companies or all the work needs. Even you work for yourself as a freelancer, or you start your own startup, or you work for any company, either small, medium, or large, they need a confident people and they need efficient people, right? If you gain these two things by being learning a new skill, you can earn more money by being a freelancer, right? And we can discuss more about all these topics. You can find multiple job opportunities, because what we are going to show you with context qa or such a tool, that you are cross selling yourself. Means you are not only the tester, you are learning about the product, you are learning about the requirements, you are learning about the some of the stuff that devops does, some of the stuff sre does. So you are learning or you are getting prepared for the longer term. Means you will get a multiple job opportunities, so you are not confined to the very specific manual tester title, right? So that is going to that's the something we are going to discuss today. Also, if you become efficient and show the result as a manager, as a lead or senior, you get promoted very fast than what is the current pace. And you can mentor someone, you can bring a value to someone else's life because you have the skill. You are knowing one more than one tool, you know the different tools, so you can mentor someone and improve their life as well. Bill, please paste your question in the chat if you have any question, or if I'm super fast, please let me know. Okay, before we move forward, I want to put a one quote, right, that Shahrukh Khan says, right, in his movies, is or in his lectures specifically, that before being a philosophical, right, earn lot of money or become rich. So that is applies to all the LinkedIn influencers, right, who says stick to what you are doing, because it is negatively directing you to stay there, and world is not asking you for that. World is asking you to adopt new tools and technologies, right, whichever it is a chat gpt, open ai, Google Doc, Google Drive, some automation tools, Selenium, whatever it takes, right? Learn continuously new skills, whichever fits into your timeline and your roadmap. But there is no way that you can stay what you are doing as a manual tester, and you don't improve, right? You need to constantly improve yourselves. However, manual testing gonna stay there, but your companies, other startups are looking for some advancement, right? They want to get more value out of you in the same 8 hours of time in a day, and that's where you need to use such tools. Okay, moving forward. So then you all might have tried, because I see we have registration from starting career experience from 0 years to the like 10 years or more than 10 years of experience in this audience. You have tried to learn java, you have tried to learn python, tried to learn api testing, you have tried to learn javascript, python, or any other framework like robot, apm. It takes forever to learn new skill, right? and then using that skill to your current workplace is another challenge for you. What happens at the end, you are mixing both, like learning programming from scratch as well as then creating the framework within that programming language and try to implement in the complex problem at your current workplace, which is a full-time job of 6 to 8 developers that you are trying to do by yourself. So you are setting yourself for the failure by doing that. So okay, so you are setting yourself for the failure, and that's what we want you to avoid. Obviously programming is a great skill. If you want to learn, you can learn on side, but you do not need to be, yeah, you do not need to be spending time on routinely on while you are working or doing your manual testing work, because it will it will like a redirect your focus, and that's you do not want to do it. So you can continuously learn on site whatever the new framework or technology you want to learn, but taking the complex problem, taking the complex framework and starting from there will make your life more complex, right? You will not be able to deliver in certain time frame, because uh, programming or developing entire framework or developing entire application is very very difficult. Okay, so normally it takes forever. If you ask someone that who implemented automation in their workplace and how much time it took to cover like 40%, 50%, or 60%, it takes a while. And you can also ask the number of hours it takes, and that is what we want to simplify using the tool. So the answer for this is, with context QA, it is possible that it will not take forever. It will be very quick. And that's what we want to explain, like how you can leverage such tool like context QA in your day-to-day process. So everything can be implemented in a natural way. So let's, rather than waiting, let's start. But yeah, please keep asking questions in the chat if you have any, and Arsalan will note it down and we will revert it back to you. So today we are going to discuss very high level with this roadmap. Today's session is the first in this webinar series. We will have more deep dive sessions also about using this tool, but we will provide the high level overview of the tool and its features, so you can go through it and you can understand the power of using this tool and also see the impact on your day-to-day life. So the roadmap we are going to discuss today is first like getting the requirements, and from the requirements itself QA's role will start, where you will get understand about what are the features and how it is going to be tested. You're gonna design based on the requirement, you're gonna design the tests, and you can define the environments, what type of devices and scope after you get the requirements. Once you have the like requirements and you have designed the test cases for it, you can perform the manual testing. Now when you perform the manual testing, it can be exploratory or fixed steps. In either way, you need to find issues and report it, but it needs to be a consistently, so your leadership can see it, what you are working on, what are the root cause, what is the system's stability or robustness over the time, and what are changing. So you need to provide a clear visibility to your leadership team. It shouldn't be over Slack, it shouldn't be over Excel spreadsheet, or it shouldn't be over verbally, because by the time people forget. So you need to track it some way that it can be easily traceable and maintainable, so you can take a look at those results over the time. And the last part is, you need to automate to free up your time. Once you found out manual testing works, now you do not need to prove that you know how to test that particular feature and it's now repetitive task for you. This is the time you decide to automate. But how all these things work together, right? Because each one has its own challenges in current world, and how are we planning to solve using context QA? So that is what we are going to discuss. um, so let me see the time. So yeah, we have a time right now. So So I'm opening a ContextQA page as well as uh, so first, we will start with the requirements. So you start getting the requirements or take the requirements in Jira normally, right? So what we are trying to advise everyone or the best practices that add your requirements as a Jira ticket, or if you are using similar tools, but add as a separate issue. Do not list all the requirements in a single large document like Excel spreadsheet or a Confluence document or Google Doc, because it is becoming hard or very hard to trace it back. And I will show you what value we are trying to bring here is. But like here, you can create a new requirement, for example. So this is the context QA Jira board. You can select the requirement here, right? And you can say that, okay, this is the new requirement, right? And requirement for the login page or any portal. And you can add all the requirements that login page should have X, right? You can have any details. The important part over here is you need to label it such a way that it is it you can connect it to the different parts of the system. So what we did here, right? So first we created the requirement, and requirement can be provided by the product team, and it is still in the Jira. So we are not asking you to change or move to the any new platform right now. You just added requirements as you normally do, but we are asking you to create such a requirement so you can map it and trace it towards your test coverage, your normal development software development process. So you can go back and forth, and if any requirements are changing, you can correlate what is changed, why it is changed, and you can change your test cases and software development tasks accordingly. So this is the first step in your process, is creating the requirement. And here we learned creating the requirements using Jira with the right labels so you can map it later on. Now the next task is a test case design. So here in a context QA, you can come over here and you can define like a new test plan, right? And here you can say that, okay, this is the login page test plan, right? You can just create whatever the test plan you want to provide, and you can provide the same label that we created here. You created the login. You can add more description, right? Here, and this is the pre-work, right? Nothing about the automation we are talking now. It is just adding the more details so consistently you can track it down. And here you can say that, okay, I want to add particular test suite about the login. So you can choose any specific test suite. So I will choose this one. And you can add devices, right? So you can say that devices. Obviously, you are still going to perform everything manually, but you need to add all these records so consistently you can filter or analyze. So here you are saying that, okay, this is the CQA devices, these are the browsers you're going to test, this is the Chrome browser, and just create, right? And you just create, and you can add all the additional details and click create. So you created a test plan for those test type. So once you added it, right, you are consistently going to say that I'm going to test this requirement on these devices, or this is the scope, or this is the environment I'm going to test. You can also define or predefine the environment you want to use, right? What are the credentials you want to use? So you can come over here and say that I want to use normally QA like staging environment for login, right? And you can create your own environment. You can set that this is a username, right? And here is Deep Baroj, and password is Deep, and URL is contextqa.com. Again, we are not talking about the automation yet. We are just talking about the adding information such a way that you can find it out consistently later on, rather than putting everywhere into your Confluence document or Google Doc. You can put into the right bucket so you can come back whenever you need to say that I am running my test, even it is manual. I am running with these configurations, as well as this is the and these are the environments I'm adding, right? So these are the prep work that you can do while you are waiting for the developers to do their work. Consistently, you can also add the like Excel kind of spreadsheet over here. You can upload, or you can add data for login, right? And you can say that okay, this is entry one, and you can say that this is the username, and here is deep, and you can add more data, and you can say that password. Here is the borrowed, right? And you can add more rows as you need. Here today we are going to show you, or what we are trying to show you is add details while you are taking the requirements or designing your test cases such a way that you can reuse. You can provide information to your leaders or other team members, or even when you are not available, anyone could be able to find it from the single system, right? Even you are performing the manual testing. Now, once you added all this information, now it is time for you to create a test cases, right? So you come over here again. For the manual test cases, you just add the information. So like login test case, right? And you can add any information you want to add, like this is the functional test, this is the medium priority or critical. You can add any labels, as well as you can add the label login. So you are aligning login labels with the requirements, as well as um, all other like test suite test tasks. So whenever you want to find all the login related information, you can find from here, and you create that okay login positive test case. And these are the steps anyway you are doing into the Jira ticket. So there are no additional work we are asking you to put, right? And I will show you how it will sync up with the Jira directly. And now you created the test case. Now you just write the consistent way that okay, go to the this website, right? And add all the steps that you normally add, but consistent way. So all the developers follow the same pattern where you are defining particular steps. So there is no ambiguity between the what you are trying to do. So again, you are setting up yourself for the manual testing only right now, because your product might be early in the system, or this is the new feature is being developed and you don't know how stable it is. So always manual testing is the first approach that you normally do. Through the exploratory testing, you come up with the steps and then you apply here. But you apply such a way that all the test cases are organized with the labels, with the such information, so you can mix and match all the filter criteria and find the right information and tell your team or of developers as well as the leaders. Now you added all the information. Now you can say that okay, run manually. And once you say run manually, like it will add all the, it will create the execution for you. So you can go into the each step right here. So it says it is not executed, right? So let's go to the like any execution over here, like for example this one. So you can go to the like a history of this one, and you can say that okay, this is the particular step, right? And you can say that okay, this is a passed or failed, and you can add information over here. Or you can say that this is a failed, and you can add a reason for it, right? That page not found. So what we are trying to say here is you add all this information such a way that it can be traced, and you do not need to add any more detail. Okay. So what we did so far is created the steps, right? So over here, so going back to our test case, right? And we we add the details right here. such a way that we can say that it is passed or failed, and we can provide the information like a test case passed, and you can say that added result, and it will save it for you. So far we did is executed manual testing such a way that it can be found in a history. So if you want to see all the results, you can go here and you can find it out like this is the login test case and what are the information it has. So all the execution history will be found here. At the same time, like if you go to the Jira board, what will happen, right? And I'm just showing you the example over here, that once you have created the test case will show up in the Jira about yourself. And with our native Jira application, all of the information will be shown up here. So whatever the requirements that we created about the login screen will show up here, right? Regarding, so here you are trying to say is, for this test case, this is the requirement, or these are the four test cases that I created for this specific requirement. So there shouldn't be any ambiguity regarding the requirements and the test case mapping. This is called the traceability, right? To check back and forth what is the coverage look like. And these are the different test cases for the same labels or same features, right? So these are the labels. Also, whatever the steps you created available for your team members to take a look, so your developer is aware of all the steps. Now whenever you change the step, it will visible to your team, so they can take a look and everyone can be on the same page. Whenever you perform the execution, all the execution will be available into the Jira ticket for specific epic story, right? Or the particular test case. So your product manager or project manager do not have any question about what is missing, why it is missing, or what work did you do, because everything is logged. Because the system is created such a way that you can link your test cases with the requirements and then execute manually, push your results directly to the Jira. So there shouldn't be any ambiguity and there should be a less communication and you get more time free. Once you do that, any manager or leadership come to this applicant story and come here and can find what is the test coverage look like, what is the performance score, and they can also find the recording or the trace that if you have uploaded there. So this is the base part over here. Is the context QA is the tool that you can start very early in the process from the requirement stage to the test design stage, where you can get whatever the time you have, you put in a such a way that in a specific bucket, so all the information or all the time you spent can be utilized later on. So now you understood about how to perform the manual testing from the context QA and still show all the visibility to your team member consistently in Jira. Now we are going to show you the magic of the next part. So the magic is, now at some point you decided that you want to automate everything, right? So far you did manual testing. Now overnight your boss says, let's do the automation. Or now our product is stable. Now let's do the automation. What you need to do is just come over here and just update the values over here if it needs to. Otherwise you already automated it. So for example, like I'm just showing you the Walmart page. So this test step was already manual test for manual testing, but you added all the information such a way that it's all automated. If I want to, if I go here and just update the value, but that's all I need to do. And if I click here, it will start executing, because all the what context QA does is takes all this information and through the machine learning and AI, it translates into the execution such a way that it can run the automation. And like if it runs the automation, it will like, okay, this failed here, what is the success criteria and all. So let me give you the example, what is the true execution look like. Okay, so like for example, you added all the steps manually, right? And you perform manual tests like normally do. And once you start executing, So once you execute through the automation, right, because there is no extra work needed, no extra code you need to apply, you just add normal steps for you. If you don't know how to write a test case, then we have another tool for you which we call a Chrome extension. Okay, so the way to find out that tool is, you go to our website contextqa.com, right, click on Chrome extension, install it. Once you install it, it will provide you the recorder tool, and you can go to the any website like Orange HRM or any website. You can go and start recording the test case, right? So you can say that like a webinar. You can start recording the tool, all the steps, and it will add all the steps. So once it adds all the steps, so like for example, if you go here, so like sorry, this one. So like normally, right, when you go to the Walmart or any website, it adds all the steps like this. So it will write a test steps for you as well, and you can validate all the steps over here for the automation. So what I'm trying to say here is, if you are not confident or if you are not sure how to write a test steps either, then this tool also write a test steps for you. Okay, and you can automate overnight without learning any programming languages. Now the first thing over here, like I want to go back, and before I go more into the automation part, and we will have another sessions to go too much deep dive into the automation. The first goal over here is what we are trying to do here, right? So here is a learning new skills, earning more money, and job security and higher position, right? So how you can earn more money with ContextQA, because if you are taking projects or if you are a freelancer, you can do the testing further, as well as you can automate so many things, or you can simplify your work where you can be very efficient by optimizing this platform or using this platform to optimize yourself, as well as you will be able to deliver your task on time using this tool that will provide a higher job security and more chances for you for the higher position, right? Because you are now putting efforts into the manual testing such a way that it can be automated overnight. So for example, if you have 100 test cases, right, and you normally counted for like 4 hours to automate one test case, and that is like a 400 hours, and now you are just automating everything into like a 20 hours or 40 hours. So you are saving like a 80% of the time or 60% of the time. So that is the value that you are providing to your business by using ContextQA. Now I want to very high level mention, because these are the very deeper topic, so it will take more time to discuss. But how you can upskill using the ContextQA, right? So currently you are only performing the manual testing, so you are only knowing about the product's behavior. But by automating these things, you will come to know about where it is failing consistently. It will record the video for you. Okay. It will create a trace for you. So you will have a more time to know about what is the traffic look like. When I click on here, how it goes to the backend and how it is showing me the all the results, right? You have a more time to understand the response and all the information, and what are the network requests look like, what is the request and response look like. So now you are not only focusing on the manual testing side where you are only touching the interface, but now you are also looking at the APIs. You are also looking at the what is the error you are getting back. Here you can also find more details about what are the visual differences you are finding over here, as well as you get all the logs and all the information where it says that highlights what is the error, so and what is the like 404 error. So now you have all the information before it goes to the developer, right? So as a QA, you run the automation test using ContextQA. So it found out that okay, there is some UI changes, there are some network logs errors, and there are these errors. So you can communicate very effectively with your developer is this is the issue, and I think this is the potential area of the issues. So now what value you are providing to your developer is saving that time of debugging, because you already find it out what is the root cause or what could be the risk cause. You can also use AI to analyze the error, and that will provide the summarization of what is the error look like. And you can also learn by practicing these steps again and again, that doing xyz test, you are getting these errors, and this error means this, for your product's context. So now when you attend the next stand up, next meeting with your developer, or when developers are talking to each other, you have more information and better context what is exactly happening. So with this process, what you are doing is upskilling yourself about how the application works, how the backend and front end works, how backend and the database works, and you can be a part of that conversation and upskill yourselves. So going back to my presentation, our goal is to empower QA teams and make them become a complete test or quality engineers. Currently, if they are focusing on only one piece of things about mobile or web, or only front end or back end, we want to give them the time back so they can perform API testing, performance testing, functional testing, load testing, and everything from the context QA for web applications and mobile applications. Again, this was the very high level overview sessions we had today, to go over a very high level about the like context QA as a platform, as a low code no code platform which we look from the Chrome extension, as well as it has a API testing features which we will discuss next, and performance testing features. And the value that we are planning to provide is in sprint automation, as well as the like providing the feedback faster to the developer so they can understand. But the very important part over here is visibility and traceability. Means not all the companies has a robust application, or they might not be ready for the automation, but you can still use the platform like ContextQA to implement requirements and all the testing plans for the manual testing and execute from it. So it provide consistent information, as well as it will prepare you for the future. So whenever you decide to automate, it will be an overnight decision and overnight execution, and you will have automation right away, rather than waiting 4 months or 6 months of time. Thank you. I will pause my presentation and ask Arsalan if he has any question.